We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about what is going on in Bitcoin today, because it's a big day for crypto, as Strategy is going to very likely be listed in the S&P 500 today, and that has some serious implications that I think need to be addressed. And also, we are going to talk about where we stand with Bitcoin, as the last stream is already a couple of days ago. Sorry for that already at this point. And we have to look especially at the altcoins. We're going to look at our altcoin spotlight today. VeChain, Metacade, Ecomi, VeVe. We are going to look at all of this and check out where we stand. So make sure to stay all the way through. So good morning to each and every one of you. First things first, let's check out where we stand with Bitcoin, and I'm going to go into the daily chart because it's important to highlight one thing. Nothing has changed since the last stream. Actually, it basically doesn't matter that I wasn't streaming for like 5 or 6 days, other than the entertainment factor, because we are still in this Bitcoin flag, and this flag hasn't broken yet to the upside, although we are sitting at 108,000. We are still waiting for this decisive push beyond, and it might be happening this week. And if it happens, we're probably going to get pushed directly to 120,000. But so far, we didn't see the end of it. So technically, we could also come back and do another round through this, just as we had it back a couple of months, where we were grinding for more than half a year in this horrible sideways flag. So this can of course happen, right? But I don't think it will last that long, given the other factors that determine the Bitcoin price and the Bitcoin direction. But just keep in mind that we are just at the upper end here, and this could be the point, but is not yet confirmed, where we push out and we go quickly beyond 110,000, adding a couple of thousand Bitcoin quickly. Probably if we do so, we will get a basically retracement to retest this before we really go. So also this breakout can take a while. Of course, we are going to always keep the larger time frames in our view. And we do see that our setup is as good as it was before, even better, right? We have ourselves our big fat inverse head and shoulders pattern, where we broke out, as I always say, right? Inverse head and shoulders here, broke out, retested, continuing. And now we see the month. When we started the month out, it was red. Now the month is in green. We are above horizontal. We are going to close the month in only 18 hours. And the big factor here is this is the highest monthly close in the history of Bitcoin. If we stay here, and even if we drop a little bit more to 106K, it will be the highest month in the history of Bitcoin. Let's not forget that, right? So highest monthly close coming in, and maybe the next day we are already be flying, right? who knows? Who knows? That is not in ours to determine. The indicators, as always, are right on, let's say, continuation, as we are not not overbought. We are not with the TSI anywhere near the trend line. We are opening up here on the momentum, so we expect months of positive momentum. Everything's all right, and in that we are getting these big fat news. So we are getting tomorrow, which is today because that's from yesterday, strategy will qualify for the S&P 500. This will generate billions of passive income flows for Bitcoin. What he means by that is basically strategy being in the S&P 500 automatically makes all these electronically traded funds, all these ETFs, all these portfolios, all these asset manager S&P 500 average portfolios automatically allocate money into strategy, and strategy uses that money like an ETF or so to purchase and leverage Bitcoin. And that is what he means. It's basically a passive flow into Bitcoin because no one really controls these allocations of the ETFs. So these are just with whatever MSCI World or S&P 500 overall ETF, like doesn't matter if accumulating or distributing or whatever, these are going to be bought, right, through the standard ETFs. And that's a big deal because if strategy continues to use all that money to purchase Bitcoin, it's billions of Bitcoin flowing in, and strategy in contrast to other asset managers is not buying and offering paper Bitcoin, but is actually buying the real deal. So we might see very positive momentum the moment this gets announced, and the moment or then continuing. And there are some estimates. I did see it yesterday. I don't know if I can find it here, but there are some estimates how much Bitcoin will flow because of that. And it's first of all starting out with 500 million or 1 billion, and then it's more, right? So as strategy will climb the ladder within S&P 500, probably these flows are going to increase as well. So let's see here. We have a couple of people in the chat. Let's welcome people in the chat. We have Pro Legendary here. Good morning to you. Felipe, also good morning. And Bodo, GM, like button hit and coffee ready. Good to see that. And thank you very much. And if you enjoyed this type, then please smash up the like button here for the news and the content. So while we're seeing this on CNBC, people like financial advisors like Rick Edelman are coming out and saying, actually right now, in contrast to last year where 1 to 3% allocation seemed accurate, people already come out now and say a 10 to 40% allocation of your portfolio should be in crypto, says this financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, so I cannot confirm, but this guy says 10 to 40% in crypto, and probably most of it in Bitcoin, right? So we see also this is going out to a lot of people that are looking at the investment cases. Here we see Vice President of the USA commenting on Bitcoin. Let's listen quickly.
I actually think that where Bitcoin is going is as a strategically important asset for the United States over the next decade. It's one of the reasons why President Trump, with the help of our great AI guy, David Sachs, it's one of the reasons why we started the Bitcoin Reserve, because we want to start to put in motion the strategic importance of Bitcoin for the United States government. We know that the PRC doesn't like Bitcoin. The People's Republic of China doesn't like Bitcoin. Well, we should be asking ourselves, why is that? Why is our biggest adversary such an opponent of Bitcoin? And if the Communist Republic of China is leaning away from Bitcoin, then maybe the United States ought to be leaning into Bitcoin. And that's one of the things that we're going to be doing.
Okay, so here we see a lot of bullishness on Bitcoin with the, of course, they've created the reserve, now they're feeding the narrative, but if we're looking at it, it's just one more argument here for, hey, it's adopted, it's embraced. I don't know what people are fearful of. Still, people hesitate to buy, right? It's really nuts to see this. Which brings me to one thing. What the question of the origin, right? It's everywhere since the beginning of Bitcoin. Now we have this crazy stuff coming out, like Binance founder CZ says Bitcoin founder Satoshi was an AI from the future. It's interesting to think about this, because the first question that comes to my mind is not the how of the technology or so, but rather why would the AI of the future go back to change the future and give people an, let's say, decentralized, uncontrollable way of escaping the financial system? Does that mean that would that mean that the AI was on our side and we lost together with the AI, basically, against full, let's say, matrix style simulation control? Is that what's implied here? So of course this is a philosophical Bitcoin digital chicken and egg thing, but it's still interesting to just spin this thought out, what that would mean if that AI can time travel, and how would that work, right? It's obviously it seems a little bit like off. It seems a little bit too crazy, but it's still funny to think about it. Why? I don't know. I have to find, actually, if someone has that where he says it, it would be really interesting. Hey, Patrick Bultman, good to see you as well. Finally present again, you said. That's good to see. But underlying thing, this chart is now at least 5 days old. It's one of the many M2 comparisons, but it's the one from Raoul Pal and Julian Bittel. It's being criticized, but it also is, or has been, correct. We see now the upswing from the last days in Bitcoin. In this model, we are sitting probably at 106. We are now at 108. No, actually 108,000 is that that dotted line. That's where we sit right now. So we haven't moved much. You see, the model predicts a swing up to beyond 120. Actually, would add up to 110,000 a move. Not quite sure how to read the scale, because this scale seems to be Bitcoin. Yeah, so maybe we are on the way to 120k here, or 140k even. No matter what, the M2 charts, I think what's really great about them is they are very accurate in predicting how the next part, the next leg, the next direction moves. But they are not exact. You see it here, right? Here we have these dotted, like a lot of downswings here on the global M2, but actually for Bitcoin we just went on a bigger rise and then had a big correction. So it's not an exact science, but the direction is clear, right? Every time we went up on the M2, we also went massively up on Bitcoin somewhere. According to this, we would go right now, we would basically have a projection towards 160k, which would exceed our channel target already by 25k, right? So I would cautiously say that is absolutely possible to happen. I would like to see how M2 develops in this chart, if it develops more to the upside, which is absolutely possible, as all the countries are massively going to massively ease the financial conditions and print money by a lot, and inject that into the system. And the money that is being printed right now is not yet in the system, hence the 12-week lead. If that's the 12-week lead, that also means now we're concluding June right now which would mean we would basically go into October with our bull market and our rallies for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin would be going up following this at least into the first day of October. And that is very bullish, right? Because that also opens up more window to for us to let's say altcoin season, to find altcoin season and so on. Let's take a quick look at financial conditions, right? So interestingly, it seems that actually for now, the Iran-Israel situation seems to be resolved right now. We do see the oil price has come back to its lower levels, so very low levels here, 65, which is good for the economies, right? To expand, to rise. They can produce cheaper everything that's dependent on oil, which is still a lot, can produce cheaper. We do have the dollar going lower, which is also really good to see. Now we already can see that actually and really this bearish retest is playing out. We get to see lower prices here. And in the next day, we are going to get unemployment numbers. We are going to get the ISM and so on, job openings. So some financial data coming out the next days. Doesn't matter, the dollar getting weaker, which was something that everyone wanted basically. It's happening now. So it's good, it's positive for financial conditions. If we see the dollar go all the way down from 97 to 90, that's probably what will fire our bull market in the same way as in the last times. It would be very favorable, let's put it that way. And it's also where we would expect the end of the bull market, right? Just like here, when we went from 102 all the way down. Now we came in this bull market basically from here, September-ish, October 22 at 114, and we're on our way down, right, to 90 or so. Let's see. Let's keep a close eye on this, because here this double bottom marked the double top in Bitcoin in the last cycle. So that is important to watch. Now Bitcoin dominance has its bumps, but Bitcoin dominance is still kind of on the rise. It's we do see the trend is still going upwards, so we can not expect any magical things happening yet from altcoins, but we will look at the altcoins in a second, VeChain, Metacade and so on, right? Ecomi, VeVe. Just check this out. So as long as the trend is up, the trend is our friend. I told you in the last stream how hard it is to predict this stuff. What is or will be good to see is a loss in the trend. What is also interesting is I'm going to show you a couple of really bullish things here. Where's my gold chart though? I had a gold chart. Let's see. Oh yeah, that must be this one. No, that's the total too. Sorry about that. Okay, total 2 we come to in a second. So one interesting thing is the S&P500, okay? Exactly where strategy is going to come into. It's breaking out now from basically this year's entire resistance. So this resistance was hit in December 24 and hit multiple times. Then we got rejected and crashed all the way down to this level here at 4,800, came up, and now it seems for first time we are breaking it. We are at all-time highs, while crash profits have announced the end of the financial system and the collapse in a 1928-29 style once again not happening. Okay, the same for Nasdaq. Look at the Nasdaq. We did have the same resistance, crash down to 16,000. Now we are at all-time highs, breaking out Look at this. Wow. It's starting a new week already in the green. The Nasdaq is going up big time. Will this go on forever? Probably not. But for now, we are in price discovery for the Nasdaq. So that is very interesting. I'm actually curious where my gold chart went, but it doesn't matter because we can just pull it up again. Because my theory is, and that is something here. So you see this parabola, right? So gold, so this scenario was risk off. I wrote it here. It's very important that this is clear. That's when people have some spare money, but not much, and they ape it into gold because they believe everything's crashing and the system is going to zero, right? So the parabola technically broke. And that means, in my books, that maybe we are shifting now from the risk off to the risk on, which means, and that is also reflected and supported by what you just saw, S&P 500 and Nasdaq, right? Traditionally a little bit more to the risk on side, they are both breaking out and forming new all-time highs, right? So that means maybe that's the overlap phase, maybe that's the shift. It takes a while, but probably that's where the money that we see in this M2 chart is hitting the pockets via different mechanisms, and now basically says, okay, you have excess money, you have spare money, now you can ape it into something to make multiples out of it, right? I think that's basically what's happening here. Pukal Jutrich, GmbH and the hodlers, good morning to you. Will the next month be our month? The next months, yes, I think so. Everything that I just showed you is bullish and points up. Especially this is a good sign for altcoins. The break of the parabola, not so much a big sign for Bitcoin. And keep in mind that you can break the parabola and you can still continue to rise here, right? So it's not guaranteed. It just means that the parabolic move that has been unfolding here with a very nicely drawn parabola is not continuing, right, in that way. Maybe it's not as steep anymore. Doesn't mean that you can't have a scenario where gold still breaks out, but it's good for the altcoins. And for the altcoins, we do see, let's put it on a monthly. We do see on the monthly that the trend kind of is this, right? So here, so we are getting for the altcoins is basically make or break, right? The altcoins are getting squeezed, and this is total 2, so this is with Ethereum, but we are basically getting squeezed here and now. It's either that way or that way, right? And I think we are considering the situation, going to challenge the market cap all-time high here once again, which would be then this massive cup and handle also at the same time. We will see, right? It's speculative. That's why high risk, high return. People always think that they can do high risk and never lose. That's never a good idea, right? High risk means I have a very, very high chance to lose. But you saw it in all the altcoin space and so on. People bought altcoins they thought they would not lose, and now there are some people with, let's say, including me, right, some altcoins at 98%, crying about this and blaming whatever, like, who is there to blame. But the fact of the matter is this screams extreme risk, right? Way more risk than Bitcoin. Okay. Nonetheless, there is a good chance now that we are breaking higher here. We will see. as we see long wicks are coming in every time that we get to this trend line, which means the altcoin market has a good chance to go higher in the next weeks and months to come. Just because we bounce here and maybe break out doesn't mean that this is already the altcoin season. It just means that we might set up our path to break total to market cap all-time highs, where probably still the total 3 at the moment is performing a little bit better. We see it here. Right here we do have this is total risk on, right? This is the contrary to the gold parabola. And I think as we see the gold parabola breaking, we probably are going to see our altcoins re-challenge the all-time high and go into the parabolic move from here, right? And that could be you pump, you break out, big fat retest that hurts like hell, and then boom, firing away, right? And that, if that would happen like this, we would be in March. Just if it would look like a drew in, the retest would be complete in February to March of next year, and then here the parabolic move it would be crazy, right? So it needs to happen very, very quickly, otherwise it will take a long time, right? So I think it will happen, but when? No idea, right? When exactly? No idea. How far? No idea. Which coins will be pumping? Probably the ones with strong fundamental and that generate returns for their users. Let's look at the altcoin market while we're talking about it. We are slightly in the green. We are in a phase right now. This is the monthly, sorry. We are at the point right now where we see also that stronger moves come out of strong projects. We have Pengu and Arbitrum leading the charge this time. Pyth and Aero 9% also. We have IMX 7.4% and the rest in the 2.3 to 5% range. This is probably the setup of the top 100 that's going to be for the next, let's say, months to come. All of these projects are probably going to blast out news as hell once they see, okay, that money is really hitting the market. We do already have some news for VeChain, which we're going to go into a little bit right now. Let's start this out here with Dana White, president of the UFC, and you know that VeChain is a big sponsor of the UFC. You have to keep that in mind, but let's listen to him quickly.
I actually bought almost $1 million worth of VeChain. I own almost $1 million worth of VeChain right now. So I'm in every way that you could possibly be in with Sonny and VeChain. It's the only crypto I own. It's the only crypto I've ever bought. Yeah, I'm all in with VeChain.
Which clearly states that he is sponsored to do, like, does that for sponsorship, because if VeChain is the only crypto that he's ever bought, I feel he didn't get crypto. Not because I don't like VeChain, but because he should have said, I own some Bitcoin, but VeChain is the only altcoin that I have. That would make it so much more credible, right? But anyways, you can change what people do and have and say. So no Bitcoin in his portfolio, at least he is not going to disclose it. However, it's the president of the UFC. He says he has $1 million bag worth, like $1 million right now on VeChain, which is probably going to attract a lot of people, right? All that VeChain stuff and so on, like VeChain does a lot of great marketing. Also, this, of course, hits all the big channels, right, in crypto, like Altcoin Daily here with 2 million followers on Twitter, on also same of subscribers on YouTube and stuff like that. Wow, it is crazy, right? It's crazy. Looking at VeChain also has launched their staking. Let's see if we can find if we can find some posts about that. Galactica changes how VeChain, Thor, VTHO burns. Stargate changes how you get rewarded by VTHO. Upgrades to VeChain tokenomic and reward systems are just days away. Keep your VAT close and prepare for launch. It's actually 2 days to go, so it hasn't launched yet. But they are basically redefining both the burn mechanism of VTHO, of the gas, and the earning, make it more accessible. Probably going to boost the TVL, which is, in my books, basically VeChain setting up the token for another bull run. But why is it coming now and not the other 3-4 years that we had? Because this is everything that you need to get in line to get a big fat bull run out of VeChain. I really like that, and this is the VeChain official post. VeChain, you remember we are looking at it. VeChain has accumulated about 100,000 subscribers on X in the last couple of months. We were looking at it and it was like 500k. Now it's 630k, so that's really, really good in my opinion. We do have VeChain appearing in academic letters. We have a lot of influencers talking about VeChain. We have the UFC partnership, right? We have VeChain operating a lot of like supply chain use cases and so on. Oh, that's me. That's me a couple of hundred subscribers ago. Yeah, so here you see it, right? VeChain in the octagon. I don't diversify. Yeah, here you see it. It's good that people are also memeing about this. So overall, can't absolutely complain about the trajectory of VeChain, other than the price, right? If you're looking at the price is not good yet, but I mean, is it? For many altcoins, we do see it has found ground here. We are waiting for the next lift off. And then challenging the cycle high at 8 cents, which, by the way, was basically the first target hit, which is here, right? So it makes sense. Many people probably had that. So my targets, personally, looking like that. I'm not the $1 VeChain guy at the moment here, right? So 8 cents. Slightly under 20 cents, and 45 cents as the absolute maximum. Big fat bull. We go back to all-time high target. We will see, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But these are my targets for VeChain. Looking at another big one for this cycle is being Metacade, as it does not have an old cycle, right? And Metacade has really it's basically at the lower end of the accumulation zone, so I think it could be a good buy here, right? Given that you believe in altcoin season and that you say, okay, yes, altcoins are pumping. This is a rather low market cap at a good entry level. So if you take the entire zone, like the cycle highs at 4 cents, and considering that you're sub 1 cent, I'd say that's where it's good to pick up. Maybe we come all the way down to 0.004. Who knows, right? Still, this is why we can choose to DCA. But I think it's good. Why is it good? Because the tokenomics. Let me see here quickly. The tokenomics are pretty good. Is that the official channel? I always forget, but I think so, yeah. The tokenomics are pretty good. They have been starting to build a community. They have almost no like big unlocks to do. So that would be in a bull run really, really crazy. They have all this drop zone ETF benefit stars thing going on. So activation drops, key updates in the Discord. Max mint, rewards pending. So we see here they go really crazy with this drop zone. They do lives, they do AMAs with founder and CEO. So everything seems to be all right about this project token so far. And looking that up quickly on the actual, Metacade is now 876 in the, so it's in the top 1000, enough to get attention, but it's also low enough with only $15 million market cap to really go crazy, right? Which, when, even if you say, okay, $150 million market cap, that would still be a 10x, right? And it would be still coming out low and short in this. It has just under 1 million daily volume, so I'm bullish on Metacade as well. Getting to another one here, and that is Devi. Looking at Devi as well. So for Devi, I think we could. We don't see a full picture here, but we could basically argue that you might get into something like this compression, and then at some point a massive breakout. Also for Devi, you are at the lower end, you are right in the middle basically. Like for Devi, it's not that much of a discount, but I think it's still probably a good purchase here. Let's check out the market cap on Devi. Wow. Looking up these brackets is is absolutely crazy. Quick on Devi. Actually, Devi is bigger than Metacade. But still, right? So you could also expect an easy 10x out of this one, in my opinion. You see also it's not much in the red, so maybe for accumulating you want to have another red-ish day that gives you some 10% discount or so, as these coins are reacting massively to the market swings, right? So that would be Devi. Looking at, where is Ecomi? Let's see. Looking at Ecomi quickly. Wrong chart. That's the right chart. Okay. So for Ecomi, there was this almost loss of this support, or I would say even loss of the support. Now we are above it again, but still it's clinging on to these levels, but barely, right? So still not sure if we are not going to drop lower for Ecomi here as well. That given despite everything that has been said in Lisbon, everything that is coming out, we see transactions and burns on Ecomi, but it's probably not enough yet to get the buying in, right? On the other hand, if you're extremely bullish, you might see that as a fantastic buying opportunity if you believe in Ecomi, and that is completely up to you. Ecomi also ranging in those spheres now of a $50 million market cap, okay? So $50 million market cap, same size as Devi. What would be insanely good is, we know that from the 200 and whatever 90 billion or so that is in circulation, couple of billion are at founder team, 1 billion each. I think it's still not migrated even from VeChain. What would be cool if they would just put an automatism to slowly let those OMIs run into a burn wallet, and you just see, let's say 10 million OMI burn every week, for example, and then on different days, so you basically twice per week can report on Twitter the daily burns of David and Dan, for example, and just move that into a burn wallet, effectively lowering circulating supply, plus having official burn overview or something like that for the transactions of Stacker. Would be interesting, right? To get something like that. Who knows? Hey Roman, what's going up? We see Green Lantern, GM boys present, driving and paying attention, liked. Good to see that. Guys, make sure to smash up the like button if you enjoy the talk here in the early morning. So far so good. Let's check out quickly VeVe. By the way, it's coincidence that I like that I have favorite projects with a VeChain and VeVe. So let's see here. In the overall chat, Rabbits getting another round. Partner statues are being highlighted. Randy streams are being posted. Golden moments being collected. Let's see the official side of this. Jubilee, what the heck is that? Complete the set of Jubilee, powerful teen with a rebellious streak. I have no idea what that is. Rabbits are back for season 3. And this is also something, right? Maybe the rabbits have a smaller community. Continuously feeding those communities is good. Even though you might not be into rabbits, there are people that are collecting all of that. Take a closer look at VeVe's Dance Floor Dream series, bringing party to your digital collection. X-Men comic. Nothing too crazy at the moment, but it's fine. Also, we see another Women X VeVe stream. Anniversary, first appearance of the Red Hulk on VeVe. Oh, so long ago already. I have to collect the Hulks. I really like the Hulks. There was a post about a bounty that also VeVe retweeted, I think, a couple of days ago. There was a bounty list. Let's see if I can find that VeVe bounty, because I still have to check if I have some of these or so. There it is. California Comics posted this 2 days ago, right? They're posting $4,000 bounty overall, and you see here, for example, so they're looking for the Nova 1 1976 comic, and they give $1,250 in gems if you have it. As well as Mad Balls 85 and the Gun Hand 24 and Addiction 1 2250. I have no idea. Maybe like I really have to check for these if I have them and so on. And here, by the way, keep in mind that some Amazing Spider-Man 55, only the common cover would be worth that for them with the mint. As well as Avengers 1, only the SR. So maybe that mint isn't even available, because maybe that was minted on another cover random rarity, right? So, but it's something. I mean, not all of these bounties are good, but the Avengers 1, the Nova 1 are pretty big. So if you have that, you might do some bucks just to make you aware of that. And I will follow them back here. I didn't know they follow me. So hey, California Comics, how are you doing? Maybe there are more of these coming out, right? Also, they have here said bounty acquired, Venom Lethal Protector number 1. We've gotten a booming start with the 4th bounty capture so far. One of our favorite comic books. Blah blah, outrageous. Okay, 93% of public. Yeah, okay. So they have acquired some bounties. We don't know what actually. Oh, here they have acquired Avengers Mint number 1 1922 SR. Okay, so they have acquired this already from the list, right? That's the mint they have acquired. So RIP, this is gone. But yeah, okay, but maybe worth giving them a follow, because if they continue with that, that might be some way to collect the nice bounty here and there. Anyways, guys, How are we feeling this week? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Let's do some Q&A if you want. If you have something to say, otherwise not. What's going on? What's going on, guys? In the light. Let's see here on the side a little bit more about VeVe. More what VeVe guys are posting. I have some people to follow back. Crypto Cosmo, follow back. Tina Garcia, follow back. The Las Vegas, follow back. Okay, 3 people followed back. Let's see. All VeVes, all VeVe guys. Let's see. I don't go to Fontana free time, but just know. I have no idea what that is. Let's see a little. Okay. I see it's a Monday morning, guys. I see it's a Monday morning. Okay, so guys, make sure to smash up the like button if you enjoyed the insights here. Don't forget to subscribe, notifications on. And I will say, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I catch you in the next live stream, hopefully, if everything plays out right, tomorrow, and hopefully more often than last week. Last week was really horrible timing wise, so make sure to stay tuned with notifications on. Also follow me on Twitter, so on X, so that you can see when I post the hey, I'm going live and so on. So make sure to do all of that, and